I should really go back to work. But what's the rush? I deserve a break. I just organized the best conference this company's ever had. Even the CEO congratulated me.
Smith, hell of a conference. This company needs more employees like you.
Of course, he doesn't have to know that the professional conference planners at Bayview Wildwood Resort did all the work for me. No, that'll be my little secret. After all, when my boss appointed me to organize the next conference, all he was trying to do was pass the buck, all right? He knew full well how important the annual conference is to our CEO. Every conference has to be perfect, no screw-ups allowed. When that pile of resort and convention brochures landed on my desk, I was suddenly reminded of how difficult it is to find a good job these days. At first, my chances of finding the perfect location seemed like mission impossible. Maybe some of the huge mega corporations with money to burn could afford some of these rates, but not our company. Even the parking fee in some of these downtown hotels made me wince. Some of the getaway packages didn't even bother showing you what the place looked like, and they were the most expensive of all. Suddenly, just when I was about to throw in the towel, there it was, Bayview Wildwood Resort. The rates were affordable. The meeting rooms overlooked the lake. The dining room looked bright and spacious. Plus, they had whirlpools, fireplaces, and squash courts. All the extras I needed to make everyone happy. It was right on Sparrow Lake, only 2 hours north of the city. Far enough to leave the traffic and the noise behind, but close enough to be within easy driving distance. The brochure gave a toll-free 1-800 number, so I picked up the phone and called. As soon as I heard the friendly voice on the other end of the line, I knew I'd made the right decision.
Mr. Smith wanted to make sure everything was going to be just right. He wanted to plan the best conference his company had ever had. I told him we could easily accommodate up to 150 guests. We serve 3 meals a day in our dining room, plus provide snacks and continuous refreshments in the meeting rooms. We have air-conditioned meeting rooms with a view of the lake, and naturally we supply audiovisual equipment. We provide lots of activities and entertainment facilities like boat cruises, golf, billiards, sailing, and squash.
Finally, I ran out of questions. They had everything I was hoping for, more than the big city hotels could offer, and at a much more competitive price. And when she said,
"No problem, Mr. Smith. Let us look after all the details."
well, that was the most important answer of all. I was sold. My first big surprise came when I opened the door to my room. The room was fabulous, just like the brochure. No, better than the brochure. I checked out the fireplace and the modern bathroom. Better than I had at home, that's for sure. And when I stepped onto the balcony, I was greeted by the spectacular view of the lake. There wasn't a high-rise or office tower in sight, no noisy streetcars or buses either. Just the relaxing sounds of nature and a nice warm breeze coming off the lake. I strolled over to the main reception area to greet the others. The free Bayview Wildwood shuttle bus was just arriving with a load of delegates from the Washago train station. Like the brochure said, getting there was no problem. The next crucial test was our first meal, dinner. It's been a favorite pastime at every conference I've ever attended, complaining about the food. But not here. The salad and fruit were fresh and inviting. The main course was piping hot. And the dessert, well, it just doesn't get any better. And the service, it was exceptional. But it was in the meetings where I noticed a big difference. Our initial all-employee session in the Glenrose room went extremely well. Out of the office, away from all the phones, the noise, and the hectic schedules, well, people seemed different. They were more relaxed, ready to listen, willing to sit down and discuss things. It was like someone had cast a magic spell. Maybe it was the fresh air, or maybe it was the peaceful atmosphere. Then our focus committees, which met in smaller meeting rooms, also managed to iron out a lot of the specifics. Altogether, we reorganized, reevaluated, and revamped the entire company. All our meetings were extraordinarily productive. I think we got more accomplished in 3 days than we had in the last 20 years. We actually managed to agree on new objectives and laid out a timetable to meet them, something we've been trying to do for a long time. The afternoons were recreation time. Time to interact with fellow employees and generate some of that teamwork chemistry stuff we always hear so much about. While some delegates went in for water activities or opted for a game of tennis, I decided to dust off the old clubs and show everyone how the game should be played. There's a course just down the road from the Wildwood. I guess some guys just have what it takes. And the too, a pickup game of basketball was happening at center court. The souvenir hunters found everything they wanted and more in the unique Bayview Wildwood gift shop. Many partook in that eternally favorite pastime of just imbibing in a little fresh air and sunshine. I mean, it's amazing how the combination of being tucked away on the shores of Sparrow Lake, away from prying eyes, and not needing to drive anywhere, well, it just seemed to loosen everybody up. My theory is that being away like this at Wildwood, we were actually getting to know one another and feel comfortable together. Like the hospitality suite we had. I mean, with a fireplace and a great view of the pool and the lake, you couldn't help but feel laid back. This was much better than the little cramped hospitality suite with a view of the parking lot we had at our last downtown conference. Even Bonnie Schnell, you know, the one who hasn't smiled since 1957, joined in on a game of cards and smiled and laughed like a regular person. All in all, it was a great conference. The best! Of course, I'll only be a hero until I miss my next deadline.
Smith, I've decided that you're going to be the permanent conference organizer for this company.
No problem, I said. I'd already gone ahead and booked the Bayview Wildwood Resort for next year. Mr. Smith's conference is a typical Bayview Wildwood Resort success story. But don't take our word for it. Here's what our conference customers have to say.
The Red Cross chose Bayview Wildwood partly because they were looking for a resort in this location. It was ideal for the type of conference that we hold. Partly because they came to visit it and it was beautiful. Personally, I've been to a number of other resorts, and Bayview Wildwood is equally as beautiful as any other resort I've been to in Ontario. And it's large enough that we're able to accommodate our numbers, which is about 150 people, but small enough that we're able to be exclusive in the resort, so we have the run of the entire facilities, which allows us to ensure that people meet each other and that every person they run into is one of our group. And we also chose it because of the staff here. They certainly create a family atmosphere and are very accommodating and easy to work with.
I call it the winter serenity of Bayview Wildwood. The establishment lends itself to a small group, a collegial group where you can build team spirit, where you can build a cohesive team. The staff are outstanding. They're flexible enough there that they can mold the program so that it fits us rather than us having to come in and fit a package.
The location is excellent. It's not, it's easy driving distance from Toronto. It's not far off a main road, so it's very easy for people to find.
It's very convenient to us because it's close enough to those people that fly into Pearson Airport that they don't have to drive another 4 hours to get to the site. It's also in the near north, so that people that are joining us from northern communities, North Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, Parry Sound, they can get there very easily, can transport themselves there very easily. So location-wise, it fits all of the needs of being a retreat setting, yet close enough to all of the main transportation corridors. The other thing is that it's serviced by a 4-lane highway. I mean, people can leave Toronto, and they don't have to leave a 4-lane highway until they enter the road that takes them into the property.
One of the most important parts of the conference is for people to work together to interact both on a professional basis and on a social basis. And by being far enough away from the city that it's not walking distance away or easy driving distance away, it allows people to leave their regular lives back home and to really focus on the issues that we're discussing.
I know that when I recommend Bayview Wildwood that the consistency is there. I know that everyone is going to be treated as well as we're treated, and I know that the needs that they have can be met. So it's a place that you never hesitate to put your name next to something that says, yeah, this is a good product. There's no question that taken in its whole, staff, location, the kinds of accommodation, the meal, the service, there's no better place.
It's a personal comment of mine as well as a number of other people. We come to the conference partly because it's a tremendous learning experience as a Red Crosser. but I know a lot of us come back because we love the opportunity to come back to Bayview Wildwood Resort and eat the amazing food and see people on the staff that have become friends, not just colleagues.
The proof's in the pudding. We've used Bayview Wildwood for a decade now. The reason we've used it is because our clients, the people we serve, are happy. The teachers are very critical participants, and if everything doesn't meet their needs, they're the first ones to tell you. And that's what they teach. They teach critical thinking skills. We would not be returning to Bayview Wildwood every year if our clients were not very content. And in fact, one thing that I can tell you is that a number of the people that arrive at Bayview Wildwood on their own, because they're not with families at all when they come to our conference, they're back there later in the summer, either on their own or with their families, because they see what Bayview Wildwood has to offer. In fact, the people at Bayview Wildwood will tell you that in a number of instances, people are actually booking a return visit to Bayview Wildwood before they leave our conference. And I think that says a lot about the property and the people.
We have actually already booked for next year, and we expect to be coming back to Bayview Wildwood Resort for a number of years to come.
Budget is very important today. Budget's important to all the kinds of people that do the job that I do. So therefore, it's very important that when we spend money to choose a site for a meeting or a conference or a workshop, that we choose well. And there's no question in my mind, and continues to be no question in my mind, that Bayview Wildwood can deliver the service that we need on the budget that we have. And therefore, our money is well spent at Bayview Wildwood.
And now let's meet Diane, Director of Sales at Bayview Wildwood, and one of the owners of this family-operated resort.
Bayview Wildwood offers a great conference package. It's relatively easy on the person that is doing the organizing, because what we try to include is pretty much everything in the package. We do it as a daily rate based on 3 meals a day, the meeting room, your coffee breaks, 2 coffee breaks a day, all your basic audio-visual needs, and it also includes, of course, your accommodation in either single or double occupancy. The meal package is always a difficulty with organizers, so we try to make it as simplistic as possible. With your breakfast, with the breakfast and lunch, it's usually a buffet style, which is fairly quick for people to get in, but offers a good variety. And the dinners is actually a 4-choice menu that varies each night, so people again have a good choice. The units themselves are a mix of hotel, motel, fireplace suites, and cottages. And the variety is, it caters to different types of clientele and whatever they're looking for. My great-great-grandfather, Tom Stanton, actually brought the first guest into this area in 1884. And since then, it has been a tradition of the Stanton family to offer good service and hospitality to many, many guests throughout the last 100 years. I would have to say that that the tourism business is in our genes. It has been we're the 5th generation. And I guess we're doing something right as we're still here and we're still thriving.